Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 476 of the RV podcast. And today we talk about the upcoming Florida RV SuperShow. Hello, everybody. I'm Mike Wendland, and as you can tell, my lifelong traveling companion and my bride, Jennifer, is not with me this week. If you're a regular, you know that about 6 weeks ago, Jennifer went in for what was supposed to be an outpatient, relatively common heart procedure that was botched. They ended up poking a hole in her heart, and she ended up spending the better part of the week in cardiac intensive care in the hospital with a ventilator. She's largely recovered from that, but in the process of that, perhaps because of the ventilator, we don't know, she contracted full-scale pneumonia. And if you listened to last week's podcast, you would have heard how she had some difficulty talking without coughing. And that cough has proceeded to get worse and worse. She's on some really heavy-duty meds now, and the cough is starting to ease. She actually wanted to come down and give this a try because I think she would have done better than last week, but we're going to follow the doctor's advice and tell her to rest up for a while. So hopefully she'll be back next week. In fact, next week will be the 20th of December, and that will be our last of the year, the last podcast of the year. We won't come back to the podcast till the first Wednesday in January. So we're going to take a quick break then. And this week, though, we are going to talk about the Tampa RV SuperShow. I have to say that when you look at the list of all the RV shows, this is probably the premier event, I think, of the entire year. Arguably, the Hershey show in September is close to, if not equaling it in importance, but Tampa sort of sets the tone for the whole year. And this is going to be a big show, as I was going to say Ed Sullivan used to say, but, you know, nobody knows who he is anymore except old people, so I won't say that. But the show starts on January 17th, and our guest today on the podcast is Dave Kelly. He is the executive director of that show, and Dave is going to tell us what's new, why it is such an important show, why it's such a fun show. And I think you'll find this interesting. And at the end of it, after the interview, when I come back, I'm going to show you our meetup schedule. Jennifer and I expect to be there the whole week. And we have 3 meetups scheduled right now, and there may be another one that we'll be adding a little later on. But this is going to be fun. We always look forward to meeting so many people. And we also look forward to the weather in Tampa, Florida in January. It's usually in the 70s, even the low 80s a couple of the times that we've been there. So it'll be great. So that's what's happening with us. This is kind of a quiet travel time for RVers because so many of them are home for the holidays. And Christmas, boy, it's coming up fast. This episode being released on December 13th, 2023. And just a couple of weeks now till Christmas. Can you believe that? How fast it all goes? So that's it. We'll share next week. We'll talk a little bit about some of our friends. We'll introduce you to a couple of our friends who have been on the road now for full time for 3 or 4 years, and they've hit all 48 continental states with their dog. And there's a story in that, and that will be our guests next week. And then when we come back after the first year, we'll share our 2024 travel predictions and our plans for the year, where we expect to go and how we look forward to meeting up with you guys. It may be a quiet travel time, but there are sure a lot of RVers talking on social media about the various plans for next year, questions about problems they're having with their rigs, and some things that they're finding out that they want the rest of the community to know. Our social media director for our Facebook RV Lifestyle group is Wendy Boyer. And every week she has for us the RV social media buzz. And here's Wendy with this week's report.
Hi, everybody. Renee had a post last week that really got people talking. She's selling her 2019 Thor 4 Winds on what looks like Facebook Marketplace. She had someone from New York offer to buy it, sight unseen, and he said he would instruct his bank to put a $1,500 deposit into her bank to hold it until he could get there. So Renee snapped a picture of this text exchange, and she asked the group if there's anything she should be worried about. She said something seemed odd about this exchange, and boy, she got so many responses, and the overall answer was, run, this is a scam. One clue is how this person said, I will instruct my bank, because that's not really how people talk. And second, and most importantly, he wanted direct access to her checking account. That is a big no-no and huge red flag. Several of the 800 and some comments on this thread said they had been taken on Facebook Marketplace by scammers like this. And in fact, one guy named Will in our group, he said he had someone by the same exact name as the one who wrote to Renee offer to buy his 2017 road track earlier this year, sight unseen, also wanted to give him a deposit. Only this time, the scammer sent Will $3,850 as a check. And then when Will said, hey, you sent me too much money, the scammer wanted it refunded to him. Big red flag. Will had put the money into his bank account. It was there one day, gone the next day. Thankfully, Will was really paying attention and didn't get taken by it. So lots of good words of caution on this conversation for those of you selling your RV by yourself. And next, I'd like to tell you about Paula. So Paula and her husband recently bought a 37-foot bumper pull. Thinking ahead, she asked, how friendly are the trucker side pumps at a truck stop for filling up? And you know, she's got a big RV. She's picturing how hard it's going to be to get into the regular gas pumps. And she got her answer. Many, like Jim, said that's all he uses when he's towing. And Sean, a former trucker, said there's nothing to worry about. Just when you're done filling, pull up. Don't leave your RV there. Kind of common courtesy no matter what you're driving. And Diana told the group that some Flying J's actually have RV-only pumps. So that's another option for those of you pulling large RVs behind you. So good information on this thread. And then finally, I'd like to leave you with a really fun post from Tina. So Tina and her husband are part-timers. Tina described herself as a crafty person. She says she often finds it hard to take something crafty with her in the RV when they go on trips. Her current love, she said, is making things out of her 10-needle embroidery machine, and she asked, show me the crafty things you make on the road. And wow, did she get a lot of really fun answers. There's a lot of talented RVers out there. We had Jana, who knits these super cute wool socks as her husband drives along the road. We had lots of cross stitchers. We had Amy and many others who do just beautiful embroidery. We had Elaine. Now she makes fabric rope bowls. Cute and very interesting. Annette, it was one of many, who paints rocks. Steve carves wood, just gorgeous work there. Candace takes photographs of nature and puts them on tiles. And Lizette, get this, she makes baskets out of pine needles as she's camping. Just amazing things. And if you need some inspiration, you need to check out Tina's thread. And that's it for me this week. I'm Wendy Boyer, and I'll see you over at the RV Lifestyle Facebook group.
All right. Thank you very much, Wendy. And we'll look forward to hearing from you again next week. All right. When we come back, we're going to talk about the Florida RV SuperShow in Tampa, Florida. Why this is an important one. Why, if you can't go, you want to pay attention to some of the coverage that you'll be seeing here and in other places about the show. And if you can go, why it is so much fun and how long that you should plan to visit and all that stuff. We'll be talking with the executive director of the Florida RV SuperShow, Dave Kelly, when we come back.
When we're asked what's the most important modification we made to our RV, it's an easy answer. Battle-Born batteries. Battle-Born batteries are quality, safe, reliable lithium batteries that allow us to stay out there off the grid longer. Lithium batteries charge faster, they charge fuller, they're longer lasting, they're maintenance free, and Battle-Born batteries are protected by a 10-year guarantee. Now in our case, they just dropped into the existing AGM batteries that we have, and they'll probably be the same on your rig too. Battleborn battery experts can get those in your rig just like they did with ours. They can also match you up with the right cabling, the inverter, the charger, the solar controller, everything. Jennifer and I swear by our Battleborn batteries. They allow us to boondock off the grid. Check them out. Go to rvlifestyle.com/lithium. rvlifestyle.com/lithium.
Welcome back. Time now for the interview of the week. And the show, the Tampa RV Super Show, is a little over a month away. Starts January 17th and it runs through the 21st. That's a Wednesday through a Sunday. And on this week's podcast, our guest is Dave Kelly. He is the executive director of the show. And Dave's going to talk to us about why the show is so popular and what's planned for next month. So we look forward to introducing you now to Dave Kelly. Dave, start us off by telling us a little bit about this show. It is always one of the most popular. What makes the Tampa, Florida RV Super Show so big for so many people?
Well, we like to think it's all of the things we've done right over the 38 years of the show, but I think the fact is that it's Florida in January. I mean, what better place to be than outdoors in a beautiful facility that can house just about everything in the RV industry. And I think that's what it's become known as, is as a manufacturer show. The manufacturers are the ones that buy the space and then allocate the space to the dealers and whatnot. But and that way, that everything that the manufacturers produce are going to be at the show and on the ground. So, and I think that's what people have come to like about the show, is that the time of the year, of course, our campgrounds are as full as they can be that time of year. So it's just gotten to be the place to kind of see everything side by side in one location.
Is there any stats yet available? How many RVs people will be able to see at the fairgrounds there?
Last year, I think we counted over 1,300 of just the display units. And then, of course, we have another 600 to 700 out in our rally fields that people will be staying in. And so, yeah, I mean, we are pushing the walls out on the fairgrounds. If we had more room to use, we would definitely use it.
For those who've never been there, maybe we could describe a little bit. This is largely outdoors, and you have trolleys that'll get people around because there's a lot of walking because it covers a lot of area.
Yeah, we try to express to everyone how large the show is, because it's at the fairgrounds, at the Florida State Fairgrounds, and it's a big facility, and we use not only every building but every bit of the outdoor space as well. So we always tell people to wear very comfortable shoes and be prepared to do some walking, and that's why we started years ago. We started with a second day ticket, because in order to see everything that this show has to offer, you would need at least 2 days. I mean, I know one day there's no way you could see everything that's out there in one day, even if you got there early and left late. So we encourage everyone to plan on spending an extra day with us, and you get a second day admission for free. So we encourage people to come back out and make sure they see everything.
It is a big show. Besides the 1,000+ new RVs that are there, you also have vendors with just about every kind of accessory that an RVer would need. Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, and our booth exhibitors are that's a real popular part of the show, are the people that go through the booth exhibits. And we have 2 buildings that are set aside with nothing but vendor booths, which are parts, accessories, campgrounds, finance, insurance companies, you name it. If it's in the RV industry, it's probably going to be out in one of these displays. And then last year, General RV did a tremendous parts store, and I mean parts store with the shelving and the racks and almost all of their product. I mean, it would rival just about any parts store you would find at any dealership. And so we've always said, if you're looking for that hard to find a gadget, widget, light bulb, fixture, whatever it may be, if it's in the industry, probably in those 5 days it'll be on the grounds at the fairgrounds in Tampa.
And then, so we've got RVs, we've got accessories. You also have a lot of educational seminars that are there. Give a sense of what kind of things people can learn about while they attend that show.
As you know, there's so many different facets to RVing. So we have seminars on caravanning, these tour companies that you can be a part of if you don't want to just travel alone. Uh, um, Flex Solar, the solar power. How do we get off the grid? How do we power up our coach? What's the difference between the lithium ion batteries and the acid based batteries? And oh gosh, I can go on and on. We have chassis maintenance, generator maintenance. Just about every facet of the RV is going to be covered in some way, shape, or form at the seminars. And so, again, we encourage people to look at the schedule and make sure you attend on the days that the seminar that you wanted to see is going to be there, because we do rotate the topics each day. We used to have the same topics every day, and people were saying, well, I saw Wednesday seminars and I'm back on Thursday. So we've mixed it up. So little different topics each day of the show, and so over 2 days you probably see just about all of the different sessions. But that's a full day just in sitting through the seminars.
And these are, and I should point out, because we've been going to the show for 10, 12 years now. These are the top industry experts who are teaching these seminars. These aren't just anybody. So you really are getting expertise. Another area that has become really popular for folks like us who do video channels and our YouTubers is you have actual influencer meetup space available.
Yeah, we started inviting the influencers. There's so many of them, and the following is absolutely incredible. And it's for one thing for a promoter to tell you how great a show is, but for us, it's these influencers that have been to the show year after year. And they're out there telling people, what a great show it is and why to come. So then we were finding that they were letting their fans and their followers know that they were going to be at the show. And so we said, well, let's create an area where they can meet and greet these people that have made them who they are. And we started that last year, and it really took off. And we have a lot of requests this year for meet and greets, which I think is great. I think it's neat that people can finally catch up with and meet and talk to the people that they've been following for years, because you get to know them, you get to know their families and their pets and their travels, and so it's a nice thing that we're able to offer.
Yeah, we really appreciate it. We'll be posting our schedule where we'll be, and our people can meet us as we get a little closer. Then there's the entertainment. That is, I think, one of the things that has been just taking you guys right over the top. For those who've never been, give them a sense of what kind of free entertainment that they get at the show.
It's the more unusual, the better we like it. The one thing we have come back every year is Tampa Bay is home to one of the biggest bagpipe bands in the country. And we have them every day come through the show about 2:00, and boy, nothing will wake up a sleeping show like a bagpipe parade through the show. And then we have at every turn you may encounter a juggler, a clown, a face painter, a musician. Oh gosh, we have robots. We have jugglers, unicyclists. We try to keep the entertainment. We call it roving entertainment, so it's always moving around. And if you're not careful, someone may grab you and put you into a skit or a comic routine or a magic trick or something. So that's what a lot of people will go home, and they may not remember the RVs necessarily, but they'll remember, hey, we saw that clown that had that magic act, or the guy that did the balloon, blowing balloons and making them into crazy shapes and characters. And so and it's a fun industry, as you know, Mike. People are there enjoying themselves. They're there looking to buy something that they're going to go off and have a great time and great adventures in. And so we kind of carry that into the entertainment. Do we want them, dancing with the steel drum bands at the entrances and coming across the guy that's dressed up as a potted plant, and
He's gotten me a couple of times.
you just never know, what you're going to see and where on the show. But that makes it fun, and that it adds to the event as well.
It does. Last thing we talked about is that I know there's so many snowbirds down in Florida in January. So many people make this their destination and then go explore Florida while they're there. Camping is long gone at the fairgrounds. I know you picked that up, but you might talk about those rallies for a bit, because you mentioned at the very top. What's all that about?
Yeah, we've started inviting clubs the last few years to bring their members in and camp out right on the grounds, and they get a couple of nights of entertainment and admission to the show, coffee and donuts in the morning. But those spots, as you know, sell out very quickly. So we're trying to develop some new areas, maybe off the grounds, that clubs can bring their people together. And it's just that time of year, camping in Florida is extremely hard to come by. So we encourage everyone, if you're making plans to come, if not in the 24, 25, or 26 shows, to get your reservations in early, because it's tough to get a campsite in Florida that time of year.
Anything new this year, Dave? You've been at the helm of this for so long, and I know every year you seem to add new stuff. So anything new to look forward to?
Well, we got a few new entertainers. Of course, all of the RV products are all brand new. So, there's always something new and different to see. All the electronic things and all of the, all of the fixtures and things that they're putting into RVs now are just amazing. I mean, you've seen them and whatnot, and we're always adding to the entertainment, and we're always, seminars are always changing and different. So, yeah, I mean, even though it's the same show every year, there's a lot new to see every year.
We'll put links to everything underneath there. I should point out that people can actually buy RVs there, right? They can.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, the dealers will be working. Yeah.
Well, Dave Kelly, we'll see you in a little over a month. We can't wait. Keep the weather as perfect as it almost always is when we're at the Florida RV SuperShow. Thanks for being our guest.
We will be doing our best, Mike. Thank you very much.
All right. Like I said, we will be there. There's actually a couple of events even before the show. The show opens to the public on the 17th. On the 16th is Industry Day, and that's a chance without the public where industry folks and some of us media people can get a chance to look at some of the new RVs and kind of shoot our videos without have the public wait while we're inside tying up all the space in there for our various shots. So we'll be for that, and then there's just so many things happening at the show. I do have 3 meetups scheduled, and I will put them in the show notes for this episode. And you can always find our show notes if you go to rvlifestyle.com/podcast. And we urge you to go there and check out the show notes. But I'll give you the quick dates just in case you want to know and plan your days. Wednesday is the day the show opens, and we will be at the Battleborn Batteries display for a meetup with our friends and followers, a meet and greet from 3 to 4 p.m. Wednesday the 17th, opening day. The next day, Thursday, from 2 to 3 p.m., we will be at the Keystone RV display. That's a great big display right on the Midway. You'll find us there. And then Saturday from 3 until 4 p.m., very busy day Saturday, 3 to 4 p.m. on January 20th, you'll find us at the Harvest Hosts display at the show. And as I said at the very top, there may be a couple of more that we will schedule ourselves for, but that's where we expect to be at the show, and we love to meet people. In fact, we're staying there the whole week. We're going to do all of our video stuff on Industry Day, maybe a few things around after that, but most of the time it's just going to be wandering around and looking at stuff like you and meeting you. So we look forward to shaking hands and having you. You want to take a picture? That's great. We love doing that too. All right, when we come back, we have the RV news of the week, so stay with us. Are you ready to embark on an unforgettable adventure in your RV? Our RV Lifestyle Travel Guide ebooks are your ultimate companions for exploring North America's most breathtaking destinations. They'll help you hit the road with confidence and make the most out of your RVing experience. We're Mike and Jennifer Wendland, and we are passionate explorers and the authors of an entire library of RV Travel Guide ebooks. We have meticulously put together detailed travel maps showing you the best routes, where to stay, what hidden gems to discover along the way. From the majestic Yellowstone National Park to the vibrant colors of Colorado, the awe-inspiring beauty of Utah, the enchanting deserts of Arizona, the tranquil Great Lakes region, the pristine wilderness of the Adirondacks. We've even done a captivating 3-part guide to RV travel and camping in Florida. No matter where your wanderlust takes you, we've got you covered. Our curated list of must-see attractions ensures that you won't miss out on any unforgettable experiences. You want to witness the eruption of Old Faithful? We've got you covered. Craving an epic road trip through breathtaking landscapes? We've got the perfect route for you. Dreaming of beachside camping under the stars? We know the best spots. With our ebooks available for instant download at rvlifestyle.com/books, you can have the knowledge you need right at your fingertips. Head over to rvlifestyle.com/books and start exploring the wonders of North America today. Unforgettable adventures are waiting. All right, welcome back. Time now for the RV news of the week. And the lead story, and you knew this was coming, didn't you? They're raising the prices on admission and camping fees at our national parks. In particular, this week, we want to talk about the camping fee price hikes for 2 parks that have been announced. Utah's Zion National Park and Colorado's Black Canyon at the Gunnison National Parks. Both are going to charge a little bit more for camping. Zion National Park is going to raise the cost of non-electric campsites at the Watchman and the South campgrounds. Are going to raise those from their current $20 a night to $35 a night starting on July 1st. That's a $15 hike. That's probably, what's 15 out of 20? It's probably 75% hike. That's a lot. That's for a non-electric site at Zion. Now, if you want an electric campsite, they're going to go the same thing, up another $30 from their current $30 to $45 a night. And there's a non-electric one also at Lava Point, and that's going to go from $20 to $25 a night. That's at Zion. They say they need that extra money because they just to maintain water and bathrooms and the campsites. But boy, that's a big hike. Okay, over in Colorado at the Black Canyon of the Gunnison National Park. By the way, that is a terrific park. If you've never been to that national park, it's very well worth seeing. It's a very accessible canyon. It's very pretty. It's in a great area, lots of things to do, and it's good wilderness too. You'll like it. But anyway, they're charging their rates. They're going. Camping costs are going to go from $20 to $34 a night, and that starts January 1st. They need the money, they said, for maintenance. Now, we've been to both of them. We highly recommend them. And we've got ebook guides on both areas, a book on Utah for RVers and also one on Colorado. And if you go to our rvlifestyle.com site, you can see a place where you can go to take a look at our books and all that stuff. Check them out. They give you a good travel guide. But you're going to pay more for camping at those sites. And you know that's going to come down the line on other national parks as well. But those 2, they're the first to announce it. There are some new trails. If you're a hiker, you will like this. There's 3 new trails. They're going to officially become part of the national park system. These are, I love the names of them, the Ice Age Trail, New England, and the North Country National Scenic Trails. They're all having some additional trails added to them. Together, these 3 new trails add up to another 5,500 miles. They cover through 10 states, and they literally double the number of national trails in the National Park Service to 6 The three existing national trails are the Appalachian, the Natchez Trace, and the Potomac Heritage Trails. They're now bringing in the North Country National Scenic Trail as an official national park trail. The Ice Age National Trail is 1,200 miles. And that's a lot of rolling hills and lakes and ridges. That's mostly in Wisconsin. And they named it because it's a reminder that during the Ice Age, much of North America lay under a huge glacier, and Wisconsin and the Great Lakes region was all carved off by ice. In New England, the National Scenic Trail there travels through Connecticut and Massachusetts. It covers 235 miles from the shores of Long Island Sound up to mountain summits. And the North Country National Scenic Trail is now going to be 4,600 miles long. We've hiked a lot of that ourselves throughout Michigan, and it obviously travels through Michigan, Minnesota, North Dakota, New York State, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Vermont, and Wisconsin. It's a tremendous trail. It's well worth you checking out. So if we're excited, we hope to explore some of them ourselves. And another national trail out there is, of course, the Natchez Trace. That's a great place. You can actually hike the trail, but most people drive it because it's it's so oriented to a driving tour. We wrote a book on that one as well. And you can find that on our merch page. All right, winter camping. Now, you know that we've been doing that every year for 11 years. We usually are up in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan in January. We've done that 10 years in a row. This year, I'm not sure we're going to make it because of some commitments we have to do a little earlier in Tampa. But our friends at The Dirt, which is a very popular camping app, did a survey, and I was really surprised by the results. They said that a third of all campers say they tried winter camping or camping under winter conditions at least once last year. And the number of winter campers, says The Dirt, increased by 40% between 2019 and 2021, which suggested that a lot of people bought equipment and tried it out, and they like it and plan to continue. It is certainly a special experience, and it's very easy to do now in today's RVs. Walking through a campground and taking a hiking trail under a fresh layer of snow on a bright summer day is one of our favorite camping things to do. We love that. Try it. You'll be surprised how well it goes. All right, New Hampshire. I want to talk about they're raising costs for state parks this week. I should have brought this in when I was talking about the national parks, but it's up there, and we'll keep this national from the state separated. But and this is, again, a trend we're seeing across the country in a lot of state parks. They're going to raise prices. In New Hampshire, it's the first time they've gone up since 2012, and they have to do it because they say camping fees are just not competitive with private campgrounds, and they don't reflect the improvements that the state has made to its campgrounds, especially with RV hookups and bathhouses. So they're going up there, not as much as they did in the national parks, but under the proposed, the primitive campsite, no hookups, generally pit toilets, goes from the current $23 a night to $29 a night, and that's in New Hampshire. While the standard campsite, which has electric, would usually go, that usually goes for $25, will now go up to $35. They're expected to vote, a committee of the legislature is going to vote on that and okay it later this week. But if you camp New Hampshire, you're going to pay more there too. All right. When we come back, we got a question of the week for you and the app of the week. Stay with us.
Have you had it with overbooked, overcrowded campgrounds? Then check out Harvest Hosts, where RVers can overnight for free at wineries, farms, microbreweries, golf courses, and attractions. Harvest Host is a membership service for those with self-contained RVs looking for unique, beautiful, and peaceful overnight camping experiences across North America. When you become a member of Harvest Host, you can camp for free at all these places. Jennifer and I are Harvest Host members, and we've made so many great memories at Harvest Host locations. There's no charge for camping, and your Harvest Host membership fee is easily made up with just a couple of stays. Plus, you have awesome places to stay. If you use our special affiliate link of rvlifestyle.com/HH, you'll automatically get 15% off the cost of your membership. That's 15% off, but you must use the special link, rvlifestyle.com/HH.
Welcome back, everybody. Let me start off with the app of the week. We always try and produce or give you a suggested app for your smartphone or your tablet that will help you enhance the RV experience. And this week is probably the one that we have used the most through the years. It's been around longer than any of the other apps out there. And I think it's really the number one app out there in terms of use. And it's, of course, known as AllStays. They have a number of different modules for that. They have a pro version for that. But I just want to urge you to get the free app. It's called Camp and RV. And it's a free download if you haven't already had it. It's been our main go-to app for years. It lists campgrounds, it lists some boondocking spots, BLM land, state parks, attractions, and so much more than I can even detail in this. And what I like about it is it shows them all on a map. And you can search near you, or you can search along a route that you're going to take. You can have that map show you everything from campgrounds to interstate rest areas. If you want to find a Walmart or an RV dump site, pretty much anything an RVer needs to find. We'll put a link to it, and you can download it or check it out yourself. And you can check a lot of the modules they have, which are add even more detail. It's called AllStays, all one word, Camp and RV, and you'll find a link on our show notes at rvlifestyle.com/podcast. Time for the question of the week, and this one comes from McKenna. And McKenna says, like many, we are thinking about going full-time, selling our house and living in our 26-foot fifth wheel. The kids are all grown, scattered around the country, and we can visit them from time to time. We're experienced campers, but trying to get an idea on full-time budgeting, especially what we will pay for monthly campground fees. We plan to stay long-term for a few months at a time in different regions of the country. My husband thinks it'll save us money over our $2,000 mortgage. I'm not so sure. Can you give us a reality check? From McKenna. Okay, well, congratulations that you are thinking about that. If you're an experienced camper, I can take away some of the cautionary things I usually say, like make sure you really like it, and obviously you do, and if you have a fifth wheel, so you know what's involved in camping, you know how much room you have, and you know whether you two get along under prolonged periods of time in a confined space. But in terms of budgeting, here's the question. What are you used to now in terms of a neighborhood and a house? And what do you expect in a campground? Because it will not be comparable. Yes, there are some amazing RV resorts that are extremely expensive. But generally, I think that you should be able to get a nice campground for about the same or maybe a bit less, say maybe $1,800 a month on a long-term lease of a campsite. And that's for a pretty good site, a nice site with, a nice bathhouse and a pool and some pickleball courts or whatever. The cheapest I've seen for seasonal is about $850 a month. And that's the cheapest I would call acceptable. And that doesn't mean I'd stay there, but it'd be acceptable. And by that means it's run down a little bit. The bathhouse maybe have some cobwebs in the corner. You might have some real older trailers there so that you're staying with that are people living there full-time year-round. There might be a lot of transient workers that stay there. It may not be the most kept up, those that charge, $850 a month. But it might not be, it certainly would be acceptable. I think you're going to probably end up finding that it's really going to cost you about the same, all things considered. I don't know what your current house is and your neighborhood is like, but you want to choose carefully where you're going to stay if you're going to be staying there for several months. What's the neighborhood like around the campground? How easy is it to get into town? All that sort of stuff. Now, as to the rest of the expenses, like healthcare, clothing, groceries, meals, entertainment, the internet. I don't know your lifestyle. It depends on how often you want to go out to eat and go to a movie or whatever you want to do. But generally, figure those costs are going to be the same as what you're paying now, if not a bit more if you're staying in a popular tourist spot. So all things considered, it does not, if you want to maintain kind of the same standard of living that you have now, I usually tell people it's going to cost you about the same, maybe a little more, maybe a little less, but either amounts, what you're spending now is what you're going to be pretty much spending when you find yourself full-timing in an RV. Now, you can do it much cheaper. You can boondock for months at a time or weeks at a time and maybe get a campground once a night and all that stuff, but that's not what I think you're asking there. So I think you're trying to get an idea of maintaining your standard of living and what the costs will be. And all things considered, I think it's about the same. Now, other people may disagree, and they can post in the comments under the show notes, or they can send us an email and we can share them in the next edition of the podcast. That's it for this week. I hope Jennifer is feeling better and is able to join me next week. I want to wish you all a very Merry Christmas and quote my wife and my traveling companion, happy trails.